couple of things that we've seen for a lot of the big brands that we do the fulfillment here in Canada for is what Manesh already said, which was one is clear your returns and active inventory. Manesh hit that out of the park. So wipe those slate. Look at FBM. And one of the actual things we saw one of the brands do was they were using NARF fulfillment. So all of their stock for Canada and the US was in a US Amazon FBA hub. And we're trying to figure out their Canadian inventory limits. And we're like, guys, like you're just getting hit. Like we're trying to figure out the actual levers because their US was at a complete capacity. So what we end up seeing though was that a lot of those Canadian orders, they were taking up stock in the US warehouse and they weren't getting fulfilled to a US customer. So when we divided them out and used two different warehouses, that opened up a whole new plethora of space for new Amazon stock. The last thing that I wanted to just emphasize that Manesh said was that how do you activate better sales turnover? So he mentioned a bunch of really cool ideas of like listing optimization, product photography, advertising. These all come for a place. And the reason that Manesh was emphasizing for you guys was that Amazon looks at your product turnover as one of the key metrics when performing on Amazon. And product turnover in its simplest calculation on a kind of a napkin is that your total product days in stock versus how quickly that product's turning over. And as you guys can imagine, less days in stock, more product turnover, the better the velocity. So whether it's like pushing more on advertising, whether it's getting more strategic with content, these are all things that you can do to help accelerate that sales turnover, which in parallel increases your IPI, which of course leaves you to the grand lever, which is more inventory inside of Amazon. So I wanted to mention the other one, but I wanted to make sure I emphasize all the great things that Manesh said. From touch points in terms of inventory, it's super codependent. Like it's very brand by brand now because of these inventory limits. So there's not one rolling period where we'll emphasize how much stock a customer needs to send to Amazon. The key points as sellers you guys need to look for is that Amazon's really sensitive now. And like Manesh mentioned it from an inventory limit, the key is to push that turnover. So right now, our rule of thumb is usually around 30 days worth of stock. We don't want to go over that because it will hurt our turnover. But for some brands, we might need a longer run rate. So the things you want to calculate is how long will it take for your 3PL or warehouse partner or you in your garage prepping the orders? How long will that take? How long will it take to get to Amazon? And how long is it going to take for receiving? So like when you're calculating your inventory demand, it doesn't need to be a super calculated process, but you want to calculate for the unpreparable, right? If Amazon needs to do a transfer between two warehouses, you didn't prepare for that, you're going to be out of stock, which is like the last thing you want to do. So you need to reverse engineer it, but just think about the unknowns, right? The preparation from the warehouse, the transfers, the shipping it to Amazon. Q4 is really slow for receiving, so make sure that you're on top of it. But we like to go for Q4 15 to 30 days, which is like really nimble. But it's because we're trying to improve the turnover, which helps with the IPI score. So if we had a little bit more blessing, maybe we would be sending close to like 45 plus days. But it's the ways of Amazon, inventory, and all these costs went up. So we're getting a little bit more nimble. So it's case by case, but take those the napkin calculations just so you can start to prepare it on your end.
Hey, it's Riya Mittal here. Before you leave, make sure to subscribe to SellerApp's main YouTube channel where we upload all things Amazon and some how-to guides that will make sure that you're winning on Amazon. You will not get this anywhere else. Until the next time, happy selling.